Today is the 14th day of 14th day of June, hurricane season 2020. I was on this story. I don't go looking for people business, but somehow God is using me. I don't know why the universal God choose to use Kai Mills, but if he give me utterance, I go and do what thus says the universal God. Most instances, I'm a taxi man, so I move around. I drive taxi. And taxi, you gotta stay one place to get a job unless you have an appointment. I have to hustle. So I have time in Abaco to be looking for police business and other person's business. I'm minding my business. But if the business come into my view, I'm gonna take a shot at it because I can see right from wrong. God give me all my senses, 5 of them, all of them are working and percolating perfectly. So if I see something, I say something. Not always. Since this Hurricane Dorian, I have 3 booklets of information. But that's their information. Before I defame somebody's character, I have to do my investigation. They said, who's policing the police? Kai Mills. They know I'm policing them. So they're trying to get me out of the way by putting me before the courts and keeping me before the courts for years. I saw this story and I was on this story right before Hurricane Dorian. The biggest news to let the world know that this F&M government is the most corrupt government in the history of the Bahamas and indeed the Caribbean. This has never been done by any sitting prime minister nor minister in the government, and nobody's saying nothing. There's so much crime that happened in the beginning with this Hubert Minnis, gynecologist turned prime minister, and they ain't got no shame. They came in there on false pretenses that the PLP was the worst thing since Aunt Jemima pancake. And the PLP so far has been better than this F&M administration 3 years in. These guys are so corrupt and even not trying to hide their corruption from all the contracts that were given to ministers. But this one was an Abaco. And boy, was F&M hurt, because you could say whether you like, but Mars Shaba people. I could brag about my white folks in Mars Shaba and my black folks in Mars Shaba. We have integrity. They perceive and presume that the F&M is about water. But boy, have this administration let them down right away with the Bakers Bay deal. I saw that we had this huge demonstration to block up the Union Jack dock and to block up town. Everybody called me. We're going to be there a certain time. Lo and behold, I get there early to get my spot. Nobody showed up. Absolutely nobody showed up. Hundreds of people changed their mind. I said, what happened? I say, Kai, you can't fight against the prime minister. He's the prime minister of the country. Brent Simonet is a minister. That's 2 ministers. I say, but we can embarrass them, embarrassment, and let the world know what is going on. But they refuse to be coward and put the tail between their leg and stay home. I'm one on the dock when the boat came in. I saw Brent Simonet coming back and forth immediately after the F&M took power. I stopped Brent. I said, Brent, hey, come here. So I talked to him. He's my minister. You waiting for me, I ain't waiting for him. Brent, what you doing out there in Bakers Bay? You ain't studying no skullduggery, eh? You ain't working on them deal under the table, eh? He just smiled, a little wicked smile that he always do. And I heard coming out there, Bakers Bay. Brent Simonet, the richest politician in the House Assembly today got money that the great grandchildren, but they ain't had children, but they ain't born yet, can't spend. Money going to bed. Money is no problem. But greed. And they believe that that greed was passed down from generation to generation. He inherited that greed from his father, that only his children supposed to have rights to have millions and millions and millions and don't care nothing. Have you heard about him doing anything in his constituency? No. He got the richest constituency. Brent similar people in this constituency don't need nothing. So his money is pocket. But he went into Abaco, Kai Mills Abaco, went to Bakers Bay as the minister responsible for investment. And this ministry was created to bring investment into the country. He went into Bakers Bay and sealed a $25 million. That's the biggest private deal ever made in the history of Abaco. And it was made by a sitting member of parliament for him and the prime minister in Bahamas Fast Ferry. It is dangerous for a country to have its ministers self-dealing, sitting at the table and giving themselves contracts when they're supposed to bring foreign investment. They went into Abaco, and a company that's been running for 30 years took their contract and sent Abaco workers home and brought Nassau people to work for the Fast Ferry. Nobody hit to the streets yet. Wow. 18 people were sent home. Any other country, they would have had to resign in disgrace. But y'all still calling them most honorable. This most honorable. That what is honor in thieves? Which honor do you have in thieving contract as the prime minister? At the time, the prime minister was the third largest shareholder in Bahama Fast Ferry. He said nothing, the prime minister, to refute what I said. We had the information. We put it out there. They just said in December, so the prime minister's giving up his shares. Giving up what shares? He made a hide share, but I don't believe he's giving up. Okay, so you give up your shares. What happened to the money that you've already collected for the years you have collected in the 25? You're the third largest shareholder of 25 million. What did you do with that money? Nothing. Then I reported the same Bakers Bay. You know that Bakers Bay for almost 15 years after hurricane had their own electrical plant. They have not hooked in to the government grid, had no intention to hook into the government grid. They have not adhered to their heads agreement at all. Why should they? They had Hubert Ingram in their pocket. He got $250,000 every time the deeds were signed for $3.5 million property in Bakers Bay. Kai Mills only asked Hubert to let us drive the people from the FBO to the docks. That's only $15 for two people. We have not got a raise in 20 years. The people that put Hubert Ingram into power, that brute wouldn't give us a raise. 15 years, we got the same monies, and everybody know how Marshall and the price and the cost of living, we're just barely breathing. And Hubert Ingram kept his knees on our throats as prime minister. Oh, how Coperstan love him. But I got educated and I said, to hell with Hubert and the FNM, baby. Long time ago. I prefer to go independent and to go that route. But the prime minister just said, or I saw it in the paper, that he doesn't have shares in the Bahama Fast Ferry. They're back running again. Then I reported that Bakers Bay is the biggest criminal entity in the Bahamas. Whenever you get any proceeds from illegal gotten, those money ought not be put in the bank. They have run illegal taxi service, didn't have no disc until the minister came down and had him. I did a tape, and he said that any police that disallow or allow any car that doesn't have a disc on the car, they're not a policeman, because the police car have to have a disc. The minister car have to have a disc. How come Baker's Bay car don't have a disc for 14 years? Road traffic, all them were all corrupt, all paid for by Baker's Bay. Then I said this fella named Jeff Jones. I saw him at the Conkin picking up Colombian and Cuban prostitute, picking up cocaine in the amount of kilos. I see him counting the money. I see them tasting the coke at the dock. Tried to get a camera, tried to get close enough to camera up. I saw all this, and not only one time, for years this was happening. You have Jeff Jones selling property in Baker's Bay for 10 years, and now he's reselling. The law says you shouldn't resell. This same Jeff Jones is reselling. He's making two monies, and the fella don't have a real estate license in America, nor the Bahamas, and he's American. And he brags, like, I got 2 houses on Baker's Bay. What do you have as a Bahamian? Hubert Ingram, Perry, now this Hubert disallowed Bahamians to have anything. How many Bahamians were sent home from Baker's Bay, and they were the ones that were teaching the expatriates how to do their job. In Baker's Bay, the slogan was, once you're white, you're all right. Once you're black, you get the hell back. And that continues today. We could do the job, but there's too much perks. I heard him say it. It's too much perks come with the promotion. The black Bahamians don't deserve to get all these perks in the Bahamas, because the government have already been bought out in the amount of 25 million. The saga continued. This FNM government going down the history as the most corrupt government in the history of this country, and indeed the Caribbean and the world, when the Prime Minister could get proceed from a deal of 25 million while sitting as Prime Minister and send 18 Bahamians home to pocket up money for him and Brent Simonet. My God, Kai can't say it no better than that. Kai cares. You got to be fearless, and you got to know the job. You got to know it to say it. Kai know it. That's why I'm saying it. I said before Hurricane, and I said it now. It is wrong, and it's still wrong. This FNM government is absolutely corrupt, without a heart, without a soul, and don't care fi. Kai cares. You're live with Kai on WCAY.